Hi, I'm Susan Kennard. I'm just waiting for Facebook to connect and do its thing, as it's 8 p.m. UK time, and as promised I said I would go live. Oh, one person, that's good. It's obviously working. See, oh, Jen, my love. Hi David, nice to see you here. So it is working, that's really good. Yeah, it takes a few moments for people to come on. So I will sort of say who I am, if you don't know who I am. So I'm Susan Kennard, and one of the things that I do, and one of the main things that I do, is I help people to release their trauma so that they can actually create incredible lives. And one of the processes that I'm going to do with you this evening is one of my Sparkle to Success processes called the Emotional Wall. And I felt really drawn to do this because we've got incredible shifts going on in the universe. And I know that I've spoken about it before, but there is a huge shift going on at the moment where we're having to really look at, well, once again, all of those things that have been buried deep for such a long time. And those buried deep emotions are the ones that actually are showing themselves now for us to clear, so that we can be a lighter vibration, so that we can actually put a different message out to the world, so that we can actually live a more fulfilled life. And we're actually following our purpose. So we're actually following much more our mission of why we're here. And that we're not just doing that kind of 9 to 5 day-to-day living where we feel that we're in a drudgery, or we feel that we're just plodding along. And why should we just accept plodding along when really what we're here for is incredible joy and experience in this world? And so now there's several people joined, and lots of people I recognise, so it's really lovely to have you all here listening and doing this process. And it tells me a lot, because what it tells me is that there are lots of people going through the same sort of things as we're all going through. You know, I have great friends and colleagues, and we're really experienced in working with spiritual matters and releasing trauma, but we're all experiencing it, and we're all looking at it and going, my goodness, what is going on in the world? And there seems to be quite a lot of themes as well. So I have to say, I haven't read absolutely everybody's comments and what's been happening for them in their world. But what I have noticed is there's a theme around fear and anxiety, and a massive one around overwhelm. And people seem to be very, very overwhelmed at the moment and trying to really sort everything out. So the process that I'm going to take you through this evening, once again, I said, is called the Emotional Wall. And it's where we don't really need to know anything about where it comes from. We're not doing psychotherapy. We're not trawling through all of the things that happened to us as children. However, what we are doing is we're actually accessing that point where, in my opinion, and through the years and years of working and doing quite a lot of research into early trauma with veterans and with PTSD, I found that these early experiences that we have, where we put a wall up literally to keep us safe, are those times when we actually felt disconnected. So we actually are never disconnected. We're never disconnected from who we are, from source, from the universe, from God, whatever we want to believe in and whatever feels right for us. We're never disconnected, but we actually feel disconnected. So it's the feeling of feeling disconnected. And I suppose in a way, if you feel disconnected, then you feel on your own. So essentially, my Sparkle the kitten has joined us here. She likes to sit when I'm working in the energy. I think she loves it. So essentially, we feel that we are alone with our experience here in the earth plane, and we feel that we're alone with what choices we have to make, but really we're never disconnected, and we're never on our own. And I hope that everybody listening at the moment really gets that and really understands that, because when we understand that we're always looked after and we always have an inner guidance, I suppose I could call it an inner guidance, and when we have that inner guidance, whether we believe in guides, angels, the universe, God, source energy, light, whatever we believe in, if we can believe that we have this inner guidance, that we know that we're being supported, then that's really all we need. And we can pretty much get through anything that happens in our life. And I have to say that, you know, I have wobbles sometimes, and I just always know that it's just very brief, because I know that that wobble is showing something to me and showing me that, like, oh, that's interesting. Why do I feel like that? Well, why has that person shown me that in my life? And when I can really look at that, I can take responsibility for it and I can own it. And that doesn't mean that, you know, I'm a victim with it. It doesn't mean that I'm in victim status. It just means that I'm taking responsibility. And what I'm hearing in my intuition, I suppose would call it, but I do work with my guides, and I work psychically with my work, you know, so I'm able to connect deeply with what's going on with someone, because I'm told, and I see as well, I see into the body and I see what's going on. But what I am being told here is that essentially it's kind of a reminder that we're a witness to our own life, that we're not in blame of somebody else, and that we're not saying that it's somebody else's fault. And that's one of the hardest things, isn't it? Because, you know, something happens to us and we just want to say, oh my God, that person was awful, or why did they do that to me, or why is the world so unfair, or, you know, all these kind of expressions that come out. And quite often those expressions are coming from a place of feeling that we're on our own. So I hope that makes sense to you. And Kitten, come here. Come and sit next to me. She's messing around and trying to get my attention. You might see it. She might be in the frame in a minute when she comes and sits down. So we've got 30 people here. So I feel that it would be a really good time for us to start and do this process. I want this to be a fairly short video, because some people have said in the past that they felt that the videos were too long, and I don't want to do that, because I know that it's really good to be able to just tap into something quickly. And before we do the process, I just want you to make sure that you're taking responsibility for your own well-being, and that wherever you are, and if you're listening to a replay, obviously you're not going to be doing this closing your eyes driving or operating machinery, I have to say. And my kitten has now got her wet nose on my arm. Thanks for that, Sparkle. Oh, you're coming on my lap now, are you? Okay, so I think she wants to say hello. Say hello. There she is. Anyway, now she's jumping over me. Anyway, so essentially take responsibility for your own well-being, and just to let you know that, you know, what sometimes does happen in this process is that it will show something to you, and you may feel it in your energy body, you may feel it in your mind, you may think, my goodness, I remember how old I was then, I remember what happened. And so, you know, you may find that something comes up for you. And if you do want to work with me or one of my team, one of my students, then please get in contact at susankennard.co.uk, or you can PM me on here on Facebook as well, and we can help you take it perhaps to a deeper level, because obviously doing this work, it's generic, and when I work individually with people, it's bespoke to actually their own situation, their own circumstance. And I'd just like to say as well that when you go on to my website, which is susankennard.co.uk, you will find that there is options. There's an online course called Sparkle to Success, which is all my processes that I've created from my team upstairs and 20 odd years of being a therapist and getting to the heart and soul of trauma and really releasing it. And then there's another option where you get to work with me with 2 private sessions plus the online course. And there's another option where you can actually come on my live training, which is called Sparkle to Success. And the next one for that is in September in East Sussex. So all that information's on there. So if you really like this process, this is one of the processes that I will actually be teaching. Okay. So where are we? We're 31. Brilliant. Okay. So I want you just to put your hands on your heart and make sure that your feet are on the ground. Good. Brilliant. And I want you to breathe. Just breathe normally in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want you to close your eyes. I'm going to keep mine open for the purpose of the video, but I want you to close your eyes. Brilliant. And I just want you to imagine that at the bottom of your feet there are roots growing down into the ground. And in the distance, even if you can't see it, just imagine that you could see a beautiful star in the earth. And that's your earth star. And just put your roots into your earth star. Brilliant. And feel connected to the earth energy. You know, we are here on the earth plane. We've chosen to have this experience, having a spiritual experience with a human experience mixed up, combined in synergy. But we need to be grounded. We need to be here on the earth plane. We need to be in our bodies. Okay, good. Good. And just remember to breathe all the way through this and just imagine that those roots are so deep into the ground that you feel that you are so secure and safe. And then I want you to imagine that you're bringing all of that energy up from the earth and the earth star to the soles of your feet, and watch as it transforms into beautiful golden white sparkling light. And we're just going to set the intention that in this white sparkling light, this beautiful golden white platinum light, holds the message of pure unconditional love. So every single one of your cells is being filled with unconditional love. So if your body is showing you a message at the moment and you may have been diagnosed with something, or you're feeling that your body is showing you a message in your chest or your throat or headaches. A friend of mine has headaches at the moment, and if your body's showing that message, just imagine that all of that beautiful sparkling light is coming up and filling with unconditional love and healing whatever it is, whatever's going on as a message in your body. Okay? And then at the top of your head, and if you're just joining, just come into this meditation, close your eyes. At the top of your head, just imagine that there's a golden cord shooting up into the universe. Brilliant. And then connect with a beautiful 6-pointed golden star. And that golden star is your soul star. Your soul star. And I want you to imagine that you're connecting your soul star with your earth star, as above, so below. So you are now connected to universal energies, and you're connected to the earth plane. Good, excellent. So then in a moment, I am going to click my fingers. And when I click my fingers, I want you to imagine that you had a wall in front of you. Now, good. Now that wall represents the unwanted emotion that you've been thinking about, worrying about, that you've written on my feed, something that you really, really have no idea how you're going to release. And some people have put anxiety, some people fear, some people overwhelm, some people confusion. And so I just want you just imagine that that wall represents that emotion, and everyone's going to have a different one. So this is a general emotional wall process. This is not bespoke to you, but you can make it bespoke, okay? Good. So remember to breathe and be connected. And just see that wall and just notice. You know, firstly, sometimes what I say is, what is it made of? Is it an old wall? Is it a new wall? What colour is it? You know, what we know about the different colours in colour energy clearing, which is another process that I teach, is that colour tells me about an emotion. That will tell me what emotion this wall has with it and where it came from. Okay, so we've all got the wall. And now just have a look at it. How high is it? Is it above your head? Is it below your head? Is it halfway? Is it to your third eye or your forehead or to your eyes or to your throat? And just notice it without judging it. Fantastic. And then just imagine what's on the other side of that wall. So even if you can't see and the wall is right in front of you, just imagine what's on the other side of that wall. And just see it in your mind. So even if you can't see it, just imagine. Fantastic. Good. And then I want you to imagine, how old is the child now standing next to you? So just see how old that child is, or just get the number in your head, in your mind, and just see how old that child is. Good, excellent. And then I want you to imagine that you could put that child in a beautiful bubble of light. A beautiful bubble of light, protective light. And if you really feel that that child needs a force field, then give that child a force field of light. Brilliant. And now what we're going to do is just bring in a beautiful Rahani angel. Now Rahani is fifth dimensional celestial pink angels. And one of the things that we do here is we're going to invite in the child's angel. Bring that angel in for them, to stand by their side or to stand in front of them actually, and show themselves to them, because they just forgot that they were always there for them. They were always connected. They were never separated. Brilliant. And now I want you to see that the angel is holding a beautiful basket of stars. And as you can see all those different colours, I want the child to choose a star that resonates with the emotion of being connected. So if she's an older or he's an older child, they may have the word connection written on it. And if it's a tiny, tiny little child, they'll just feel the colour of it and they'll know that that means connection. And then I want them to pop it in their heart. Brilliant. And just feel that feeling and that emotion, that for the first time since then, they are now connected. Good. Remember to breathe. And then the next one is unconditional love. So get them to either read unconditional love on the stars or to feel unconditional love. Brilliant. And then get them to pop that in their heart too. And maybe it's the first time they felt that unconditional love, that they didn't really know how it felt to feel unconditional love. But to actually place that star inside their heart, it belongs to them, that they remember they are unconditional love. I'm being guided to also find peace, so I feel that probably the people that are listening here, everyone listening here needs some peace. So just find the star that either says peace or feels like peace. To pick that one up and pop it in their heart. Fantastic. Good. And there's one more I'm being told, and that's freedom. So I want you just to imagine that your little child finds the star of freedom. Good. Remember to Remember to breathe. Just get them to pick that star up and pop it in their heart. Good, they should be feeling a bit better now. And also, possibly the wall might start to change in front of them. Sometimes it gets thinner, sometimes it just disappears, sometimes it gets lower, okay? Now this is a general emotional wall that we're doing here, so bespokely when I work one-to-one with people, we would actually be looking at what they really needed. But this is a really good general one. Okay, good. So I want them now to have a look in the basket and find a magic wand. Now that magic wand is theirs and it has their name on it. So get them to find the magic wand and just hold it as children would, really excited, feeling free. And then I want them to hold it knowing that they have all the power within them to disappear that wall. They have their Rahani angel with them to stand and support them, that they're always connected. They have you standing there as well, the grown-up version of themselves. And I want them to wave their wand and just disappear that wall. Okay, good. And I'm hearing that the majority of them were able to do that and some of you weren't, and that's okay. So just get them just to wave the wand and disappear the wall as much as they can. Fantastic. And then I want them to notice you standing there where the wall was. And I want you to get down on the level of your child. Maybe it's kneeling, maybe it's sitting on the floor, maybe it's standing. And I want you to say these words to your child. I will always love and accept you for who you are. I will always love and accept you for whoever you choose to be in the world. And I will always love and accept you for whoever you choose to be with. And then I want you to imagine that you could pick up your child, make them tiny, 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 so that you could fit them in your hand. And I want you to pop them inside your heart. Brilliant. And we'll put the angel in there as well. Good. And the magic wand. And just let them know that you're going to have so much fun together, creating. So I want you to have a look now where the wall was. What do you see in front of you now? Has it changed? Is it the same? Does it look brighter? And where would you like to be? Would you like to be where the wall was? Or would you like to be over in that scene? Some people see fields, grass. Some people see sun, sea. People see different things, but usually it's very beautiful. And sometimes it usually gets brighter with flowers, you know, after you've cleared the wall and healed that little part of you. So I just want you to imagine either rub your collarbone or tap your collarbone. Okay, some of you know EFT that are watching this. Okay, and just say these words as you step forward into that scene. As I let go of the past and the limiting beliefs, I step fully into the present where I create my future. And I'm so excited for what's coming now and what I can manifest and create. And I love myself and accept myself for that. Good. Stop tapping or stop rubbing. Good. Take a deep breath and see yourself in that scene. Now, quite often what I'll say to my clients is, imagine that you're Julie Andrews. Now, some people who are international might not know that, but if you know what I mean, Julie Andrews stood on the hill and put her arms out wide and sang "The Hills Are Alive." So just imagine, if you want to and if you will, that you were standing on a hillside or in that freedom, that place of freedom, feeling so free. And I want you to snapshot that picture. Feel the energy, feel every cell of your body feeling free, that you've let go of something, that you've connected with that little part of you that you'd forgotten about for so long, and that you didn't even need to know why. You didn't need to know what it was that made that child put the wall up. And then I want you to imagine that snapshot is inside your heart now, where you're sitting, where you're listening to me. I just want you to imagine it's bright and colourful, all the colours of the rainbow. And I want you to imagine the whole of your body is full of the rainbow colours. And we're just going to send that message out to the universe of a new imprinted version of you, a new best version of you. Brilliant. And when you feel ready, you can come back and open your eyes and just feel that energy of newness, that you have most definitely healed a part of you that felt disconnected. And what I really love about this process, and it was kind of born many years ago when I worked with veterans. I still work with veterans sometimes, but I spent a lot of time working with veterans who essentially had told everybody everything. They'd seen psychiatrists, they'd seen doctors, they'd seen people doing CBT, they basically told their story time and time and time again. They really didn't want to tell their story. And so these processes, especially the emotional wall process and colour energy clearing and lots of others as well, were born because they couldn't tell me anything. So essentially, this had to happen because they couldn't tell me anything. They'd done it. They were over-traumatised. And there had to be a way of actually accessing those first points of trauma, those first points where we felt disconnected from source. And we felt disconnected from the true being that we are, this incredible, powerful being that we are, that we can have fun and joy and create and manifest anything that we want. And they went on, there were many of the veterans I worked with, went on to do lots of things for other people. So they would work for a charity, or they'd set up their own business to help people, and just able to actually release these old beliefs, these old traumatic beliefs, and allow their life to really move forward. And it's just a pleasure to share that. I mean, that was a very brief way of doing it. We sometimes would turn around, create a picture, re-establish that, do lots of things like forgiveness and compassion and so on, that we would be saying the forgiveness and the compassion to our child, and it would all be bespoke and all channeled. So each session that I do with people, it's actually individual to them. And the radio shows that I go on, people often phone in and I will do a bit of work with them on the radio show. But actually, it's just so simple to learn as well. So if anyone's interested in adding this kind of work to their practice, whether they're EFT practitioners or theta healers or counsellors, psychologists, obviously I'm previous life psychologist and worked in child protection for a very long time and a psychotherapist. So I come from that background, and I find that this kind of work, the energy work, is absolutely invaluable to working with clients and working with people, because it's so fast and we don't need to know anything. And that's what I love about it, that we, even if we do EFT, we kind of need to know a bit about why someone feels the way they do. But this kind of work we can add to EFT, and we can really incorporate it and weave it into our work and our practice. But we can also just use it for ourselves, which is really helpful. So I'm just going to read some comments. I hope everyone feels okay. Sometimes people get quite emotional because they've released something from their childhood and they feel that it's the first time that they've released it. And even though they may have done years and years and years of therapy and lots of work on themselves, quite often this process, it works so deeply that it takes us by surprise, where it actually comes from. Shannon. Oh, hi, Shannon. Thank you. Funny you mentioned Sound of Music because a meadow was exactly what I was picturing behind my wall. Oh, amazing. That's really good. Yeah, a lot of people see the meadow and they see rolling hills and they see fields, and it tends to be something like that. And it seems to be that is a representation or a perception of belief that is freedom, and essentially that's what it seems to be. Oh, Justine, hi Justine. Lots of green and turquoise. That's really lovely. So green is very much about the heart. So if we're thinking about colour energy clearing, which is another one of my processes that really I've been given, all this stuff I've developed and been given from my intuition and my guides and so on. But turquoise quite often means that we are an incredible healer, and often if it comes up in a session, I'll know that somebody might have had a lifetime on Atlantis, and that they've been somebody who wanted to help people and save people, and so they become they're an empath basically. Yeah. Oh, Shannon. Yeah, Shannon and I are going to do some work together, which is really good. Really excited to meet you. You've met me now, which is great. Yeah, green is... Oh, what's this? What does it mean if I saw blackness? Oh, blackness or blackness. Okay. So blackness, well, it just means that there's deeper stuff to do. But black, I really like working with black. And the reason why, Shana, is because it tells me it's old. It just means it's really, really old energy, and quite often it's past life energy, but we could just call it as old. And what that means, Shana, for you is that once you've cleared that, stars and planets will be in front of you. So you're saying you can't see any space, no stars. And so once you've cleared that darkness. And what I'm kind of feeling as I'm tuning into you, as I'm talking to you, is that it's some past life stuff that you just need to clear. So you can either do that with me, or you can do it with somebody who does a similar kind of work. In fact, one of my students would be good. So hi Mark, you just joined, you just missed the whole process, but you can go back over and do it again. Who else has written something in here? Okay. Jackie, oh well, old wall eliminated, planet Earth behind, so went down to join the fun. Oh, that's amazing. Shall I tell you about that? Just recently, so I work with many different guides and many different planets, to be honest. Lots of people know that I work with the Palladians and the Acturians and the Syrians. And one of the things that's coming up a lot at the moment, so when I do bespoke sessions, what seems to be coming up is a lot of that stuff, a lot of the higher level planetary stuff, because people are ready. People are so ready to release this stuff that's held them back for so many years, and they're ready to connect, and they're ready to really be who they are and connect with their guides and connect with their inner guidance. And so yes, the Palladians come up a lot, and there's one of my processes that I really, really love, which is where we are really connecting with our light body. So the light body, we watch the light body step out in front of us and show us where the interruptions in light are, which is so profound, because often those interruptions in light are essentially from other timelines and so on. And we can't really actually access those by thinking about them, because this part of our brain, this latter part of our brain has language and thinking, whereas this part of our brain doesn't have that. It just has feeling and emotion. It doesn't actually make sense of anything. It just tends to have fight or flight, really, in the fear response. So it's not actually able to make sense of it. And this is one of the reasons why we can't really go very deeply with talking therapy as much as we can with energy work. So energy therapy and all sorts of different types of energetic work, we can get in really deep. And of course it depends on the practitioner and their intuition and their ability to fine tune and home in. So does anybody, loads of people saying thank you, that's really great, it's my absolute pleasure. My Henry did it with me, age 7. Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Perhaps you can email me that so let me understand that. Okay, so who else has said anything? Does anybody want to share anything that came up? Some people. Much love. Oh, that's really lovely. Thank you, David. Janet lost sound. Oh, that's weird. Okay, I think everyone's okay with sound. Oh, Jay said, funny about Sparkle, my cat. My dog Arthur has come and laid his head on my lap. Ah, oh, brilliant. Okay, so who's that just said something? Kate Flores. Oh, Kate, hi. Thank you. Although I felt a little lost afterwards, what I thought was on the other side was gone. Yeah, okay, Kate. So essentially, what we see on the other side of the wall in our mind, or we can see before we've integrated and healed that part of us, that little aspect of us that has been disconnected or felt disconnected, perceived to be disconnected, we see what we think is our future. Okay? And then when we heal that part of us, we're seeing what our potential could be. So if it's changed on the other side of the wall, you know, she just said a little lost afterwards, what I thought was on the other side was gone. Yeah. So what usually happens is there'll be something different, or there'll be something different about it. It'll be brighter, or with more flowers or trees, or a river or waterfall or something like that, or a rainbow, or unicorns in fact come up quite a lot. The magical side of being a child again comes up. So if that happens, that's okay, because that's kind of meant to be. It depends if it's something that you don't want to see, and if it's something you don't want to see, that just means that more deep work needs to be done. And in this process that we're doing here, in a few sort of 10 minutes or so, as I say, and as I keep saying, it's not bespoke. Okay, so okay. So I'm being given something from my guides here, and they're saying to me to offer everybody who wants to book a session in August a discount. I wasn't going to do that, but I'm being offered it. So I normally charge £150 a session, but they're telling me that to offer a discount for every single person that has listened in on this recording and that hasn't worked with me. If they would like a session for £100, I will do a Skype session for £100. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So I wasn't expecting to offer that, but I am now. Anyway, so if you want to do that, then just email me and let me know. So it's susan@susankennard.co.uk. All right, so anybody else? So Paula, lovely meadow full of flowers on the other side of the wall. Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what you get. Essentially, yeah, beautiful kind of scenery that you get to see. Okay. Right, Caroline. Hi, Caroline. Thank you. Oh, thanks for sharing it. Yeah, feel free to share it, please, because if you feel that this might help somebody else, it really is a self-help thing. And my online course, my Sparkle to Success online, if you go onto the online, click on my website, that's self-help. You know, it's videos, so it's me doing the processes with my students and teaching the process, so you get me actually doing it, so you can follow it, and you can just do it yourself. And okay, so right, so I think I'm going to leave it there, because I'm going to be speaking to an international client in a mo. So much love to everybody. Enjoy the shift in the energy, see what happens, let me know. And if you want to come on one of my live courses, please come on it. I'd love to have you. And if you want to go on my online course or the online course with extra sessions, let me know, or just see you on here. Okay, much love. Bye.